Here we're going to look at how to do some of the basic operations on fractions. And the basic operations are multiply, divide, and add and subtract. Before we do that though, we probably need to review a little bit about fractions and some of the terminology. If we go back, we've got our integers. Integers are our whole numbers, and we've got positives on that side and we've got negatives on that side. If we look at a number in between the integers, say a number here, we came up with a way of saying, righto, if that's 1/4 of the distance there, we'll call that 3 1/4 or 3.25, but we're talking about fractions here, so let's just talk fractions. And so if you think about it, fractions are a way of filling in the gaps between the whole numbers on the number line. Likewise, we can have negative ones, so maybe that's -7/10, and so on. When we talk about fractions, we've got a numerator over a denominator, and I'm going to abbreviate that with a capital N over a capital D. So the numerator is the number on the top, the denominator is the one on the bottom. If we've got what's called a mixed number, we've got the numerator bigger than we've got a whole number at the front, and then we've got a fraction. So if you like, 1 3/4 is an example of a mixed number. If you want to make it into what's called improper fraction, we simply multiply the denominator by the whole number and add the numerator. So 1 3/4, we multiply the denominator by the whole number, and then we add the numerator, and we put it over the original denominator. So 4 times 1, 4, plus 3 is 7/4. Now that's an example of an improper fraction. You need to be able to convert mixed numbers to improper fractions, and you also need to be able to go back the other way. So if I had 7/4, you divide the 4 into 7 and you get 1. 4 ones are 4. How much is left over? 3. So that number goes on the top. So 7/4 as an improper fraction is 1 3/4, as we've just seen it there. So we need to be able to work through those and just be familiar with numerators, denominators, mixed number, and improper fractions. And also bear in mind that we can have positive and negative fractions. So let's look at how we add fractions. And also we subtract, because they both have the same rules. And the rule is simply make denominators the same, then if we've got addition, we add. If we've got subtraction, we subtract. Then add or subtract the numerators. All right, let's do an example. So we've got 3/4 minus 1/6. We've got to make the denominators the same. Now we can only do that by multiplying or dividing the denominators by the same number. So 4 won't go into 6, so we won't make them both sixths. If we just look at the larger denominator, and it's a 6, and we just start going up in multiples of 6. So 4 won't go into 6, so if we multiply 6 by 2, we get 12. Will 4 go into 12? Yes, it will. So we'll make them both twelfths. So to make them both twelfths, we write our first fraction as 3/4, Now to make this into 12, as I say, you've got to multiply by something. So we multiply by 3 to make it into 12. And whatever we do to the bottom, we've got to do to the top. So to make it into 12ths, it's 4 times 3. And because we're multiplying by 3, we're going to multiply another 3. 3 over 3, as you know, 3 over 3, 6 over 6, 10 over 10 is equal to the number 1. So we're multiplying 3 over 4 by 1. We're not changing the value of the fraction 3 over 4. It's still going to be 3 over 4. It's just going to look slightly differently. Minus, now we're going to make this one also into 12ths. So we're going to multiply the bottom by 2. If we multiply the bottom by 2, we've got to multiply the top by 2. That will become 3 times 3 is 9 over 12 minus 2 times 1 is 2 over 12. The denominators are now the same. Make denominators the same. We've done that. And then you add or subtract. We've got a subtraction here. So we take 9 minus 2. 9 minus 2 over 12. You don't need to put that step in. And that's 7 over 12. Okay, so we do exactly the same for addition. And if I just go down a little bit, and we might introduce a mixed number here. So we've got 1 and 3/5 plus 2/3. Now, the way of dealing with mixed numbers is firstly make this a mixed number into an improper fraction. We'll do that. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 3 is 8 over 5, plus 2 over 3. We now then just proceed like these, our rule, we make the denominators the same, and then in this case we're going to add the numerators. So we got 8 over 5, and we look at the two denominators. The larger one is 5, 3 won't go into 5, so we'll double 5, 10, 3 won't go into 10. We'll multiply by 3, 3 5s are 15, yes, 3 will go into 15. So we're going to make them both into 15ths. Whatever we multiply the bottom by, we multiply the top, plus 2 over 3. We've got to make this into 15, so we've got to multiply by 5 here and do the same with the numerator. So 3 8s 24 on 5 3s are 15. 2 5s are 10 over 15. We have now got the denominators the same, so we can simply add the top. So it'll be all over 15. 24 plus 10 is 34. And we should make that into a mixed number. Whenever the numerator is larger, we should give our answer as a mixed number. 15 into 34. Well, it goes twice. 2 15s are 30. And we've got 4 left over. And there is our answer. So we need to be familiar with adding and subtracting.